Hey guys, I'm Hallie Haglin. I'm going to start my discussion through post. So, the first thing that we needed to do was respond to the web link on hate crimes. Um, and the web link, what was his name? Was about Matthew Shepard, the college student um, in Wyoming who was beaten and bludgeoned to death, pretty much simply for being um, gay. Um, if you read through the article, they say that robbery was initially the motive, but then it turned into a hate crime. But to me, through reading the article, I feel like it was always a hate crime because it said that the two perpetrators went into the bathroom at the bar and planned out to pretend they were gay to get him in the car. And so, whether robbery was the initial motive or just simply wanting to beat him because of his sexual orientation, still it had the initial factor was the fact that he was um, gay. And, thankfully, we live in a society in a time that is much more accepting for the LGBTQ um, community. However, there is still so much bias and there is still so much work that's left to be done. Um, I mean, this story is just completely tragic, and you know, I feel like as a nurse, and this is kind of specific to, my area of nursing, but, just the other day, um, I, part of working in the psych ED, you have kids and adults, and I was working on the side where the kids were, and we had a kid who um, came in as non-binary, um, and that's how they identified. That's what they identified themselves as. And I had one of their peers flat out ask them if they were a boy or a girl. And, you know, that was a good educational piece because I was able to ask them, if they had preferred pronouns. And at that point, they told me they, them. And it was nice because I was able to tell the kids around them that, you know, it is what it is, and, you will refer to them by their preferred pronouns. And so, I think training kids up with this mindset, like starting them young, like has helped and will continue to help because at the end of the day, it's my opinion that it genuinely does not affect anyone else. Someone else's sexual orientation is no one else's business. It's no one else's right to question or comment or give a suggestion. It's just not. So that's my opinion on the hate crime article. So the next thing was to, hold on, I'm pulling up the question on my phone, was to answer, what the heck, one of the questions um, from the post. So, the question that I chose was discussing your video post some of the public health problems that may result from a disaster. I want to start off by reading a quote from our Wendy and James textbook. This is on page 513. So, in talking about disasters, it says interventions in this setting include preventing disease and illness, providing emotional support, protecting health, and providing intermittent temporary care to the vulnerable population being those affected by disaster. So that's just sort of like a background of what I'm going to talk about, but then I have some specific public health issues that might result. So I said one of them would be exacerbation of already occurring illness prior to the disaster. This could be due to lack of medication, lack of functional equipment, in an increase in the stress hormones related to the disaster, which we know can make an already occurring illness even worse. Another public health issue would be the increase in illness and infection, including communicable diseases, due to lack of properly maintained resources. The increase in stress hormones, maybe a closer proximity to other people, in the shelters and just in the community in general, and also possibly animals. And then lack of access to preventative care could also increase illness and infection. Another biggie is mental unwellness due to the stress of disaster in general, loss of property, loved ones, or life as they knew it, or just change in general can definitely cause some mental unwellness. And then also with pre-occurring mental illness, like prior to the disaster, not being able to participate in, complementary therapy that they may have been receiving before, and lack of medications is like such a big thing. And this can definitely cause a disturbance in mental wellness, especially for those who already were diagnosed and being treated before the disaster. And then just some other public issues that could occur is an increase in poverty, increase in crime, and just an overall lack of stability in the town. So, I hope you guys have a great week.